Sorry about that. And you should be able to hear us now.
But the fun thing is you can read what I just said, so I technically don't have to say it again.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Video has the history. It's just there was no sound because.
So
yeah.
There's that. We are now verbal. Yeah, it's we already started weird, so it's just going to be a weird time. Fun things now is that if you have that little bubble underneath your chat that like builds up coins, you can use them now. You can use your emotes coins to make us do stuff or unlock emojis that are specifically to our channel. So have fun with that. Yeah. You want to recap what has happened?
I have the recap all written up. Let me just back to my notes. So yeah, recap. Previously on Rolls of Redemption. Still reeling from the after effects of the cursed whiskey and enraged about Dex's attack, the gang resolved to finish their job in the mines. They encountered several creepy things, including a vampire and finding a portal similar to what they had found in Thousand Tooth's swamp, before ridding the area of undead baddies and returning to the ship. And that was pretty much it for the session. It was a couple combats one after another, and we were very tired. In the bonus content Discord, which you can have access to for only $3 a month, and we will scream excitedly about it when you join our coffee membership. But in the Discord, it would seem that some cultish activity was responsible for Dex's attack, but he is on the mend. We found out that he is also a lichen, a secret that he hid even from Mina. The gang has decided to take the job finding the Jolly Onion, a sunken ship that is rumored to have risen out of the depths and is sailing about. Anders Solomar has instructed us to find a ledger that could permanently end Gelen Primewater's hold on Saltmarsh. After some shopping and some payment negotiations, the gang has decided to seek out Eliander to learn more about the town's history and why these weird undead portals keep popping up. So, there, you've been recapped.
Recapped.
I go.
Ta-da!
That's what we did.
All right. Let me find where I pinned my information, because I did do a thing to make this easier, and then I forgot I had to do it. You know, that's how that goes. Yeah, so the crew has kind of split up a little bit here at this point. There was this and a that, and they came back, and Tara ran off, and it was a whole discombobulated mess. And at this point, we ended up with Akkierr, Atraius, and Mina inside the Watch Tower, which, as many of you may remember, is the location where Eliander keeps his office. It is the oldest building in all of Saltmarsh, and it is the general headquarters of the Watch and the Marines of Saltmarsh. They do have their own jail. It's outside of town, you know, because you don't want to keep the baddies right in the middle in case they get free. Anyways, yeah, so they have walked into Eliander's office 10 minutes before closing time. So you can imagine what kind of mood he's in.
I've done that customer service jobs.
We're the final Karen call of the day. And it's not going to be a quick one too, and and you're just like,
no, we are those parents that ask to be seated at 3:59 when the restaurant closes at 4. Yeah.
But also the waiter knows us, and we're always trouble.
Yeah.
Have a reputation.
Let's just say Eliander saw you coming from his window, and there was no way out of the tower. So, yeah.
That sounds about right.
Yeah. Eliander was prepped for his evening tour on watch, so he is in his full armor and regalia as he opens the door and allows the three of you in. questions flowing as
He almost didn't want to open the door.
He did not want to open the door, but this is his job. Eliander's office, as one would expect, is absolutely immaculate. His writing desk by the western window is no longer filled with maps and scrolls, but is neat and tidy with everything put away properly for the night. The long wooden table where he begins to gesture to the group to have a seat is also cleared and empty, save a trio of candles all snuffed out. Two attributes stand out above all others: the distinct smell of aged tobacco and the sheer volume of shelved books. It's that beautiful, earthy smell of leather-bound books. The ceiling beams run 2 stories over your heads, and within this office there are 8 staggered windows facing all of the cardinal directions and those in between. The fading light here gives realization to all of you that the books are going from the floor all the way up to that 2nd-story ceiling, pausing only to skirt around the large, beautiful windows and the occasional tapestry and painting. Eliander, as you well know, is refined. He has taste, and his sword is always within reach. The red-skinned tiefling goes and pulls his chair out, unclips his one-armed cape, hangs it over the back, and sits, not even waiting for his guests to take their seats.
And a dialogue has already begun because we're already in there. So now I'm just going to try to remember what had happened, though.
I straight up am going to read our last couple of questions.
Yeah, I feel like that's a good idea. Yeah.
Act it out.
We're just gonna. The scene opens. You got that. Eliander says, "Come on in." You want to do from there?
Yeah, sure. So.
You are here. It must be important.
Perfect.
It would seem that Monastrog's mind collapse held a few surprises. Vampires, for one, and a portal for another. Now, we'd seen one of these before. It sort of drags the surrounding areas into a domain of dread. Has there always been such darkness over Saltmarsh? It seems wherever we turn these days, there's something undead or something turning the living undead.
Your town could use some serious reinforcements, or people are going to start taking matters into their own hands. Just an hour ago, Akkierr and I encountered a young girl, barely old enough to carry a longsword, purchasing weapons to go ghost hunting in answer to some job posting at the Empty Nest.
Which, if it's coming from there, is most likely a trafficking ring instead of being an actual job, because that's how they lured people into the alchemist's house. So you have 2 problems. I want to know more of this place's history, and Monastrog said that you were the place to go.
Mina, feeling guilty, she did not put 2 and 2 together.
I just... That's a lot.
Yeah.
I'm going to start with the simplest part of this first. Those dumb enough to take a bulletin posting for a quest from the Empty Nest should know better. They should know better, and it may be nature's way of resolving some of the issues. Now, if they were to stay within the wall, they will be protected. If a young up-and-comer decides to go prove themselves, they may end up as the town captain guard. I was one of these such adventurers. So, yes, they may be putting their lives in danger. I have a town to protect and cannot run after every little person who decides to throw their lives away chasing gold. You can
But-
spend your life chasing gold by pulling fish out of the sea, or you can spend your life chasing gold at the hands of a brigand. Whatever you call it, people are throwing their lives away one way or the other in this town. Now, all this to be said, I have had conversations with the Empty Nest, and unfortunately, up until recently, they had more protection than I was able to enforce. So if they are still running their little gambit, then I will look into that.
Protection from who?
You know, Gellin.
Make your own assumptions.
You know, it doesn't surprise me that a man like Gellin Primewater would be running up operations like that and trading in human beings, because they're all alike at that point. But it does surprise me. I can't see a connection between that and the portals and all of the ridiculous hauntings and undead issues that you have here. So
That
on that.
is what I have been trying to understand. Because it's been maybe 20 years since the last portal was closed. I lost many good soldiers, including the former captain.
The last portal?
Where did the last portal lead?
I saw it. We had just slain nearly 100 zombies. The people of the marshes had been disappearing for weeks and weeks, possibly months by the time it got to my desk downstairs. And we went out in force, and one by one, the Marines fell. Eventually, we found it was small. It looked like a book, but it had been opened, and the inside of the book was hollowed out. It looked like the pages had been cut open, and the interior was filled with... I didn't get much of a look, but there was some token had been inside. But on the lid, there was a portal. And this wasn't the first time that the captain had seen a portal like this. And he began trying to talk to whatever this dark face was. And then suddenly the captain was pulled through. And I didn't know what to do, so I took a bow and skewered it. I didn't want to get close as much as I wanted to save my captain. And that was it. There was he wasn't an elf, but he looked like an elf.
Red eyes.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah, we've seen him. Did you know his name?
I do not. I have looked. And he just kind of looks over to the one wall that is in shadows at this point as the sun sets. Trust me, I have looked. There are 36 tomes, from religions to arcana to lords of history. That's how I recognized you as one of Eusidium's knights. There is nothing in this town's history of whatever that person or creature or, dare I say, demigod is. That was the last.
And that was 20 years ago?
That was 20 years ago. So if you are telling me that they have returned, that he is again opening portals, that he has opened one such in the Hoolwatch marshes, or in the Hool marshes, and now beneath the mines, then something has sparked the activity that once brought him here.
What was happening during the time 20 years ago that would have sparked that activity?
I don't know. This
Were
would be
there more before the 120 years ago?
only that my captain had mentioned. I was not here for very long. That was my first and only personal attempt at a portal. I found some journals of the captain that had spoken of his closing three
When?
during his term.
How many years?
When did they start?
Within the last century. He was an elf. He served here for quite a while.
Can I see or borrow any of those journals?
I can get them for you. I don't keep them here. I keep very little of that here. This is protected, but it is also a public space. Anyone is able to freely come and go here. Or less.
Yeah, free to pay your parking ticket, but you know.
And remind me, do we know when the alchemist likely died?
Like 50 years
I think it was 20?
You said 20 or 50?
I don't remember. Me, the DM, I don't remember which number it was.
Meta, I believe Honey had said something about 50 years ago the alchemist approached her. So I think he likely changed or died somewhere between 50 and 20 years. So 20 could make sense.
Say the house has been abandoned for 20 years.
Okay.
And Sambalay had only been there for the past 2 to 5.
My dad stole paperwork 100 years ago.
Sneaky dad.
All just an office crime. Just
Get a nickel diamond paper clip him to lock him away.
1 second.
Get him for tax evasion.
It's the secret way. It's how you get the best of them.
We know you're a vampire and have killed many, many people, but we can't prove it. However, you have not paid your taxes in the last 100 years.
I'm gonna ask about like the attack on Dex, but I need to go to the information to know what.
I know. We have
Do you know about? Hold on.
I know. I have so many notes in so many places. Where are we going next?
Akkierr has a starter question if you want me to bring up Dex.
Dexter.
I'm sorry I cannot be more productive with my answers here in this moment.
Having those resources would be of great help to us. In the meantime, our friend was attacked
So
by
sorry.
a group of robed figures, likely 2 to 3, Any idea who might have done such a thing?
They bore a symbol that was like a wave.
You need to stop.
Okay. Do we really?
What have you done to gain the attention of this group?
What haven't we done? I don't know. Everyone has their eyes on us lately, so can't tell you if there was something specific.
Everything that we've done in public.
Do you know a name Frederick von Gilden?
Doesn't ring a bell.
Don't know, the Muffin Man.
As I feared. I did interrogate a noble, or one I supposed was a noble. Claimed his name was Frederick von Gilden, leaving Anders' house. It was not long after that the attack took place.
This is not a safe location for this conversation.
Where might be?
Not in the city.
What about on our ship?
Out to sea? Possibly. Whatever you have done,
Plans?
whatever you have done, you need to stop doing, or you need to make amends.
That's vague as fuck. What do you? How are we supposed to stop?
It would be much easier to make amends if we knew who
No,
we were
it would
making
not.
amends with.
No, it would not.
Can an insight check?
You can insight check as
I'm
much as
definitely
you want.
inciting that.
This so hard.
I need to open up my...
Yeah, no, I got
you, Mina. I got you.
I'm mad again.
24.
I just like rolling sevens on this app.
Nice. Mina, he sounds scared. Atraius probably picks up the same vibe. Maybe not scared, but nervous. He's tentative and he's very worried. Akkierr, he is... I'm trying to find a better word for it. He knows what this...
If you have a beverage, you're supposed to hydrate, according to the chat. So.
Well,
Nice.
hydrate.
Guess we're going for it.
Gotta do what they want now.
It's true.
Captain Terra says hydrate. So.
Aw. There comes a level of fear when you know what you're facing and you're doing it anyways. He is not scared out of ignorance. He is fearful out of knowledge. Does that track?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Like,
Which
oh, look, there's
basically
a
means-
dragon. You don't go try and pet the dragon unless you are naive or it's cute. Like,
Unless the
Yeah,
dragon.
Mina,
I've
don't pet
had
the dragon.
some experience now, so.
If the dragon is your girlfriend, you go and pet the dragon, okay?
it's true. It's true. Every bard.
Trey is multi-classes.
Atraius does not have the charisma to be a bard.
No.
But
I would
for the,
almost
like,
allow it
mechanic-
just for fun.
for the one
Mechanically,
day,
I'm not sure
though,
Atraius can be a bard.
that one time, though. Okay, well, that's utterly useless.
Let me tell you a little of Saltmarsh's history.
Please.
He leans back in his chair. Long before this tower was built, Saltmarsh was nothing. Before that, Saltmarsh was a poor little town where the elves of the forest would trade with their cousins beneath the sea. Before that, Saltmarsh was the location of a great empire. We're talking generations and generations of elves lived here between what is and what once was. What once was ended in war, in bloodshed, in dark magic, and in curses. What was here was wiped so fully from the planet that there are very few records of it even existing. He gets up, goes over, and pulls a tome from the same dark wall and lays it down on the table. You can see that the front cover has been ripped off.
Toddlers, they get into everything.
Indeed. The front page is written in a language that none of you likely are going to read because it doesn't exist in the world anymore. This is a very small history of the Sul Empire. What once was here was a very small section and segment of the empire, but one that is, or was, very powerful. And it is believed by many, including our resident wizard, that much of the power that was lost is still here, buried by time and by war.
Have you been to the mines?
Today, no. I trusted Menestrad could handle herself.
Have you seen any of the walls that they broke through in their digging?
No, I have not.
We have made some new friends. It was really fun.
I warned her.
What did we do?
I warned them all.
Too much, too little. Who knows?
Again, there are reasons that I am no longer in the capital of Keoland and that I have been reassigned here. So, whatever my opinion on excavating the old forgotten mines is, has obviously been ignored. It is my job to protect this town. The mine is outside of town and beyond my jurisdiction. And whatever is going on in the mine begins to come into the town.
Oh, so that's what we're waiting for. We're waiting for portals and vampires and ghouls and undead nonsense to actually hit the town first before we do anything.
Give it a week.
I believe that's how the stronghold was formed, was it not? The world was dying. The endless undead crashing against its walls.
The stronghold became a place of refuge, yes. And a place of training and dedication to Eusidium. But the stronghold, for as much as we fight the undead, we may as well be dead in there. There's nothing except an endless training, endless service to this cause. There's no joy to be had there, because every day we know that it might be our last. There's a hedonistic sadness to it. And everyone drinks and fucks and trains and fights as if it might be their last day. But that's not what you want for a town. That's not what you want for a place where people live. If you want to protect anything about this town, then it should have nothing that reflects the stronghold.
There is nothing in the stronghold but death. Here, we have life. But unfortunately, to preserve that life, we need people like you.
Which we're more than happy to help. But how can we help if there are people who are literally trying to stop us in our tracks, who are trying to destroy our friends and send us some sick, sadistic message with his blood painted everywhere? Wow. How are we supposed to help anyone when there's some group that no one can seem to name, and everyone just tells us, oh, the older people who have been in this town for a long time might be very dangerous, but people who are newer to the town might be dangerous as well. We don't know. We can't actually help you. We can give you no actual answers. How are we supposed to be able to do anything if we don't have an answer? How are we supposed to help if we don't know who we're fighting against or what?
You ask a very good question.
No shit.
And the answer...
Well, there's no answer.
The answer is you must learn them.
The answer is what?
You must learn.
I'm not a very quick learner.
Are you a fast reader?
Yes.
Then perhaps you are a better learner than you realize.
Are any of the other important families interested in this ancient empire? Who else knows about it?
The council is required to learn of the history of Saltmarsh. So a council member would have access to the full and complete history of our city.
A complete history that citizens do not have access to.
What many citizens would consider rumors and hearsay. It provides facts to what is and evidence to what is not. All I can tell you, where you sit right now, you are alive, and that is good.
Barely.
For whatever
He
reason,
looks down at his very, very bloody clothes. He does not look alive.
if you were meant to be dead, or if your friend were meant to be dead, then they would be. A message has a purpose and a meaning, always. Whether it is to antagonize you into action, whether it is to draw you into foolish action, or to frighten you into submission or inaction.
Kind of defeats the purpose of sending a message if we don't know which message we're supposed to be receiving.
It's not the purpose of you knowing. It is their purposes.
I'm trying to think of what we could have done that would have merited a message.
For all you know, it could have been nothing, and you are merely pawns in a game that is far beyond you.
We already knew that part. That's not news.
No.
This news is why
Yep.
they think that Dex would be the person to send the message through. So clearly it was specifically for us. I feel like we should just pack up and leave this city to burn by itself, but that's just me. Today. That's me today.
Trace is just gonna, pat her hand, and then hold it, so it's not a condescending pat, so it's just like a, hey, it's okay. I know you want to burn the world today, but tomorrow...
Leave the town to rot. They can do it by themselves. It's fine.
Where's Mina's alignment going right now?
All over the place today.
It's holding hard to that chaotic, I'll tell you that much.
So
Chaotic had a bad day.
So I assume the library in the Wizard's Tower would it have the information that we're looking for?
I wouldn't personally know. Perhaps. But I
Why?
don't.
You don't like the Wizard?
Would the
I
Council's
am,
complete history have the information we seek?
of course.
But not something we can see.
Whoa. Did everybody...
Yeah.
Everything
went-
just flipped.
all went crazy.
We should be okay now.
That weird.
You said something and it was just like,
Mic check? Can the people hear us?
We'll say it is totally screwing up the captions right now.
Oh, those captions.
whoa.
Whoa.
Would we like to try and leave the video call and rejoin to see if that fixes things?
Forced intermission.
We'll be
right.
right back. Enjoy These Tunes by Arcane.
And we're back.
And we're back.
We're back.
Yeah, this is the terrible part. I'm sitting here watching the countdown on the stream, which has the 10-second delay. Like, oh, we've got 20 seconds. And then you start with a 5, 4. Oh, no.
Yeah.
Sorry, I should have given you more heads up, but
Yeah, that's why
I was not looking at it yet.
I asked. Okay, cool. Anyway.
All right.
I believe Atraius had a question.
Yes. So, Akkierr had just asked if the council members would have this knowledge, and you said maybe, right?
Mhm.
If I was tracking correctly, I think. So, I'm assuming that Gillen probably has a library because he's rich, and that's something that people have when they have money.
Correct.
It's like, right? I'm right. Hey. Would that be something that he has?
In written form, I would pray he does not. It would make him a target.
I was gonna say.
So you do not believe he is a part of this?
No. For his many, many faults, I do not believe he is a part of this.
And Anders?
I knew his parents well. I would not believe that Anders could be, not just would be, but could be part of this.
Though he can surely be swayed by other people.
He did find his parents to be awfully confident and persuasive, and it has been a great encouragement to me to see his growth over these past few weeks. I really thought that he was lost after the sudden death of his mother.
What about his butler? What do you know about Scarron? Is that his name?
Yes, I've heard him. Anders mentioned him a few times. He's worked for the family for years. He served Anders' father, and then his mother, and now Anders.
Did you say
What
his
drives Anders? I know you asked me why I wanted to be on the council, and you told me you are here to protect. Why is Anders on the council?
I believe, and again, is my belief, and watching him grow up. Duty. He had no choice when his mother passed, and the town unanimously voted for him as the next seat. And any of the council members who would have opposed the general election would have been very, very ill-informed. And
How did his mother die?
I believe it was just in her sleep. We all assumed it was grief and heartbreak.
Backtrack. How did his father die?
Let's see.
And when?
Many, many years ago. Not quite 10 years ago, but I worked with him some, and he was about as good as a rich legacy businessman can be.
This will say a lot. I mean, that's fine.
We got along well. We ran the council well, and Saltmarsh thrived in that time. And when his body was recovered from the shipwreck, Anders' mother broke. she took up the mantle. We all had worked with her for years, so it was natural that we voted her in on the council, and the town seemed in general support of her placement there. But her sudden death, it was shocking. And
Well, they do sound like good people, and obviously they pay their servants very well because Scarron seems to be doing well for himself. And to have
I'm sure.
Anders' ear quite a bit.
I don't. I don't believe I've ever watched the two of them interact that much.
Perhaps something to keep an eye on.
Maybe I should have a conversation with Scarron. If he was trusted enough from Ender's parents, perhaps he is wiser than we know. I may have understood. Yeah.
So that would be my optimistic assumption. But I'm not an optimist.
I typically plan for the worst and hope for the best.
I'm just plan for the worst. Every time I hope for the best, something goes dreadfully wrong.
I believe that's no. I want to make a joke, but he wouldn't be making a joke here about your Scooby-Doo plans. Every time you plan,
Make
it's
a
the
deal.
worst. It's the best. I love your plans. They make me so happy.
I have had very few plans. I will return in a moment. I have a crying child.
You want me to get that?
It's easier for Akkierr and Mina to continue talking to Eliander than for the three of us to start talking like Eliander's not there anymore.
Valid. You hear the background noise?
Imagine. It's real life, baby.
It's real life. Real life adulting.
Real life adulting.
I mean, we did give them fair warning at the beginning of the stream that this was going to be more chaos than normal.
It's
So,
true.
But like not like game chaos, just like us living
just life chaos.
I'm like trying to think if there's anything else that's like valuable to ask before we like just sit here and chat the night away.
All right, I'll be right back.
Well, then, for our viewers, I'll say that Akkier's current theory is Scarron is influencing Anders. We don't know what Scarron has over Anders or what he's promised him, but Akkierr is pretty convinced that they're having dark dealings and that not Frederick von Gulden is extremely involved.
And I and Mina don't pay that much attention. So I'm just like, wait, what? I haven't actually noticed any of this. Sorry, guys.
I mean, you also haven't been there for most of these conversations. Most of this has been Atraius and Akkierr poking their heads where they likely don't belong.
So it's all your fault because
it's our fault.
I mind my own business. Not just hit things. But guys, okay. Mina just got a diamond that she can. What I don't know about the diamond is if there are certain things it does before embedding the rune on the trident. So I need to clarify that. But it deals a ton of damage to undead ghosties, which is really exciting, and can also light up the trident like a torch. Be like, woohoo! So that's really
Look
fun.
at me, I'm extra shiny.
Because stealth is not something she's got. Trying to think of what else that needs to be achieved or announced. How's everybody doing? How are the people in the chats doing? What are things?
How's everyone feeling about the layout of things? Change it up. Keep changing it up. We're
Every
gonna have
week.
a new logo soon.
Yeah, almost done. So that'll be really exciting. Book 1 is nearing its end in terms of writing it. I mean, it'll still be a while because I'm slow, but we're almost at the sea ghost attack, which is a video that you all can go on the YouTube page and watch if you wanted to. And then it kind of wraps up from there. And I feel like we're starting to get towards the end of the content for book 2. I feel like there's like one more like big battle or something. And then that'll also be the end of book 2. So it's exciting. Lots of things coming our way. If you haven't watched the videos on the TikTok page that Rigo made for us, you should, because I've been like flailing about it for 2 months. 2 months. Yeah. And we'll see how long this real life stuff takes.
When children are involved, there's no way to tell. But a good time to remind people, we've got that Ko-Fi link, coffee link.
Coffee?
On the bottom of our screen here. Nice and big and clear, so it's easier to read for everyone.
Yeah. For $3 a month, you get to chat with us all week. Every week. Get to read our nonsense and shenanigans during the week. And a lot happens. Like the whole of Dex getting captured and hurt and stuff all happened in the Discord. With lots of emotional rebounds from that. So that's where you want to be. There's a lot of you that are already in it here. So it's exciting.
And this is all happening in one game day. One in-game day. This has been the longest day of our characters' lives.
So, okay. So, like, I keep recapping in my head so I can maintain what potentially is the emotional state of this character. They all got, except for Akkierr, got drunk last night. Woke up. Mina was a dragon. Atraius was a storybook character. And Tara was a swashbuckling, gallivanting, also dragon form dude.
Dragon in human form.
Yes, dragon in human form with the biggest ego on the planet. And then from there, we went to the mines. Time number 1. And got rid of that upside down Demogorgon stuff. We left the mines because we're like, this is too difficult to do in this body type. And so we said that the charm was wearing off. So we all ran back and went to sleep. They woke up and Mina was no longer a dragon. Atraius was no longer Sir Galadrin, not Gallivant.
I just know the elk's name was Wow, now I forgot the elk's name. Barnabas?
Barnaby, I think.
I mixed the dwarf who had a very similar name.
And then at that point, they're like, wait, what the heck is Dex? And then we go to find out that Dex was captured. Well, first they went to the Mariners Guild and was just like, no, Dex isn't here. Found out he was captured and basically strung up to die. And then they brought him back. There was the beggar, who the beggar was weirdo. We currently know who the beggar is, but we haven't revealed that in game, so we won't say anything. And had to deal with him dying, bleeding out, all poisoned and whatnot. From that point, while he's like healing and Mina's all distraught, we're like, hey, we have to go back to the mines. Run back to the mines to then get attacked by a weird, what was that thing called? I know it started with a J, something. It was a floaty
Oh, yeah, I forget how to pronounce it.
Necromantic vampire thingy majigger, and then Mina almost died not once but twice. And then got rid of that thing, had a little mental breakdown in the hallway, went into the other room because we couldn't leave the mines because heroes don't just leave. Then I walked into the other room where there was actually a vampire lady and a big force of ghosts. Got rid of the vampire lady, found out there was a portal inside of the coffin of the vampire lady with eyes in it, little beady red eyes. That, we don't know what that is. The portal went away. I smashed the lid of the coffin because why not? And then almost had a breakdown, but didn't because it wasn't the time and place for it. Went back to the ship. Was gonna have a private mental breakdown, but then Tara called me over and was chilling with Dex. I'm recapping the whole day of their lives because it has been immensely long.
We're reminding everyone that the things that we've been recapping are all one
day.
All of this happened in one day, and it's not over.
Hello, Catherine and Nate. Welcome. I'm working through. I'm still not done. And as Dex is healing there, Tara's just like, you gotta stop beating yourself up. And she's like, okay, I'll try. So then Tara leaves that room. Atraius shows up. And then she does finally have her mental breakdown and cries. And then at that point, we're like, all right, what are we going to do? Oh, by the way, Dex is a lichen. What do we do with that? Tara's like, we got to go buy stuff for this. And we're like, we don't even know what this all entails. And Akkierr is just like, yes, we do. It's dangerous. No one interfere. It's a monster. And then Atraius got mad that he was like, monster, bad. And I feel like Olaf in those little Olaf descriptions. Oh no!
This is the bad, worst, horrible day of Mina's life. From Mina's
perspective. It's just the worst. So then Atraius runs off, and Mina's like, could you please be a little more subtle with the monster talk from now on? And he's like, okay, but let me tell you this really sad story about the time I encountered a lichen and had to off 2 boys or something. I'm not really sure. We think they might be dead or not. Because they were both lichens, but there's 2 different types of lichens, and so we need to find out which one Dex is, and we're like, okay, but let's go shopping instead. So
man, Mina really did not listen to my story at all.
No. She's like, okay, but also stop saying the word monster around Atraius. Cool. So then we do go shopping. Mina buys the diamond for her trident, as well as some javelins. Akkierr buys nothing because his shopping list just gets bigger. And then when we finally get to Eliander's, and while we're there, Atraius was talking to Anders, trying to get us money for the job, because last time we didn't ask for money, we should have asked for money. So he was fixing that problem. And then we got a lot of money, and we're like, this is a whole lot of money. So now we are here, and it's still not over.
We'll get there.
Thank you. All right.
And to make it worse, at least Akkierr now thinks that these portals are somehow linked to not only the alchemist, but possibly the big name families, or at least their associates, and Vampire Daddy.
I always suspect Vampire Daddy.
Previously on Vampire Daddy.
If something happened, because listen, if something happened here 100 years ago,
could be Vampire Daddy.
Around 100 years ago, that something opened up something to be able to, let in darkness and despair. It was around 100 years ago that Vamp Daddy became Vamp Daddy. And
so hear me out.
They're gonna ban the word daddy really soon.
after our stream gets real big and we release our book and it becomes popular and they make a TV show, we have to make sure they make a parody TV show called Vamp Daddy.
But yeah, so that's my theory, is Vamp Daddy is partially responsible. Whether or not he is intentionally responsible, for opening up these portals. He has something to do with it.
Right, that's the question. Did he do it and he's the baddie with the glowing red eyes? Or did he unleash something even worse?
This is starting to sound like poison for Cusco.
I think he unleashed something worse because I feel like he would have told me it was him if it was him. Because remember, Vamp Daddy's entire modus operandi was keep his wife and his son alive with him forever.
But as you said, vampires are evil, so maybe his motivations changed after that.
Maybe. I just feel
the baddie daddy is the suggestion.
I feel Daddy.
I just broke. I'm done.
Inspiration.
No, you can't use the NPC tavern inspiration. That's like giving
I am going to. Was who?
Dex.
That was Dex. Yep.
Of course
okay.
it was Dex. Of course it was
Yep,
Dex.
my dude. We're gonna have a conversation later.
What you did.
I can't even.
And now we're supposed to go back to seriously talking to Eliander again? Like,
Yeah.
come on.
I agree with move Dex to Tara's bed. It's probably bigger anyway.
Probably. He's the captain's quarters.
Get out of my room. God. Okay, well, anything else? We're like keeping this guy at work much longer than he wants to be.
I know.
Is tonight the full moon or is that tomorrow night?
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow's the full moon.
Okay. All right.
Bad time.
We'll be able to see by then.
Hopefully.
So, where could we find this information that we are looking for without doing it in such a way that will make everything exponentially worse?
I feel like it's right in front of your face and you just don't know it.
Is the book still on the table?
Yep.
Akkierr steps over and picks up the book and just starts mindlessly flipping through it as if he's just kind of like, checking out the quality of the book, but he's looking for anything he could possibly understand or symbols or that kind of stuff.
Give me an investigation check or a sleight of hand check.
And based on my skill bonuses, I'm going sleight of hand. Because I'm also trying to do it without, drawing attention. 12.
And he sees what you're doing. And he
I don't care if he sees. I just don't want other potential eyes to see.
He seems to approve of what you're doing. The entire thing is written in a language that you do not know. And you did not previously know existed.
If I had what was it called? Wait, I wrote it down what it was called because I want it. Damn it, why can't I find it? If I had a Emerald of the Kong ring rune thing, could I understand it?
I believe that allows you to read all languages, right?
Yeah, as a ring.
So there are spells that do that too, right?
Yes. There are also spells that do that.
That's true.
Akkierr is going to ask Eliander, I'm curious, who would know more about ancient languages if we were interested in studying?
There are a few people in this town known for their linguistic capacities.
Any you trust?
A few.
This is why I don't come to these things.
Do you want to enlighten us as to who you might trust?
I trust myself, clearly.
Mm-hmm. But I get the feeling you're not going to translate for us.
Again, I would happily teach any council member or any of those things. Speaking of which, the last time Akkierr and I had a conversation, I made him a promise.
Indeed, you did.
So, unfortunately, quite a few of my questions have already been answered. That one of your confidants is a flight risk and feels about as much of attachment to this town as she does the air she breathes.
Excuse our current demeanor. We have had a very, very long day.
I understand. So, Mina,
Yes.
if Akkierr were to be put on the council, what would keep your loyalty to this town above anything else?
Akkierr.
That's it.
I stick to my own, and if Akkierr needs my support, and the town needs Akkierr, then I will support the town.
And if you had to choose between Akkierr and Terra, one requires you here and one requires you at sea, where do your allegiances lie? I know better than to ask of your relationship.
It would very much depend on the scenario.
Atraius, you've already shown your distaste for being a sellsword. Understandably so. I spent a majority of my life. I feel as though I still currently spend my life as nothing more than a sellsword. But I have found purpose and good in such a role. If Akkierr were on the council, what would make you any more than his permanent sellsword?
The fact that I don't kill indiscriminately. I have a goal. I have tasks. If you have a completely mundane task that has no ties to what I am duty and deity bound to do, I'm not going to do it. But if you have a people who need help, who need justice to be served, who need a supernatural tie that would help the town to be able to thrive, if they need that supernatural tie dissolved, that's my purpose, that's my goal. And I will always fight the undead. And currently your town has more than its share.
More than you know.
I'm gathering that. So for
If it is for the town...
as long as I can be here to help your town deal with that, I will be.
You also seem to be under the impression that all undead are... Well, I do believe they are all evil. That they are all... That we are all better if they were not to be here.
Yes.
If it was more beneficial for the town for an undead to remain, and your orders from your friend looking out for his town were to not slay one of these, how would you deal with this?
It would It would depend on if the orders from my friend contradicted the orders of my god. I cannot go against Eusidium's orders for anyone. So, while I might not be the greatest boon then to Saltmarsh, Akkierr is. He's wise and steadfast and loyal to whatever cause he sets his mind to. He thinks my god is a piece of shit. But that doesn't stop
Akkierr chuckles.
That doesn't stop him from when I need him to go with me to fight something horrifying. It doesn't stop him from coming with me. So, while a man may be made up of facets of the company he keeps, I believe you should know that that's not the entirety of that person. Akkierr is many, many wonderful things, and he surrounds himself with us assholes for some reason. He would make a good member on your council. I would suck. Mina could probably do it. Tara would be gone within a week. Probably with all of your money.
Yeah.
You would definitely leave the town more fun than you found it.
Oh, yeah.
But Akkierr would be good for your town. We're good for certain circumstances.
You're a captain of your guard. You know that your soldiers make interesting choices sometimes. That doesn't mean they're bad, and that doesn't mean you're bad. So, although we make interesting many of those today, that doesn't mean that Akkierr is a bad fit. And that doesn't mean that we're bad people. I mean, just, a little rambunctious sometimes.
You're not bad.
So then we come back to my first question that we asked in the council chambers. If Akkierr was to take off and go on an adventure, who would you appoint as your designee?
I have not found an appropriate candidate yet. Who is yours? Putting the DM on the spot because he doesn't have one.
Oh no, he has one. There are very few in this town who I would trust to vote in the way that I would vote. I have found two, and one would vote in my stead should ever I be unable. But I take this calling seriously. You don't see me going and delving into the mines, chasing things into the wool marshes, or even leaving the coast to fight against the princes when they invaded and attacked. I have delegated these jobs. I have orchestrated, I have watched, I have helped. But my heart is here.
Perhaps the heart of Saltmarsh needs a little adventure sometimes to chase down these things that threaten this city, to ensure that there are not unknown threats bubbling outside your walls.
There are plenty who can deal with those things.
But he can fly, so...
Another great boon.
While I think it would be beneficial to have someone who could potentially be there in Akkier's stead should he need it. I think Akkierr has a point. It would be very helpful to have somebody actually active on the council who isn't just getting their information as hearsay. They're out actually seeing the world, seeing the threats, so that they can come back and report exactly what's happening.
Wise counsel indeed. What is the purpose of a shield with no sword?
I mean, don't ask Mina that. She's really handy with her shield and like bangs bull with it. Mina knows.
If you put a spike on the shield, then no. Sorry, that's not making that.
Mina likes her shield, but
I do.
But yeah, sword. That would be Akkierr. So
I like taking those too.
In this time where you have an open seat, do you have votes?
We try our best to avoid all votes, to table them. Should there be an imminent need or an emergency, it typically falls to the senior council member to decide any. The senior council member may vote twice.
which is Ida in this case, yes?
Yes. The next time we meet, Akkierr, I would like an answer to the question.
I understand.
If that is all, I'm sure my men have already begun patrol without me.
Indeed, I think we have some of what we came for. Akkierr tucks the book into his pack.
Borrowing. Borrowed without permission, but with every intention of bringing it back.
Kind of permission.
You saw him do it.
Yep. So he stands up and grabs his cloak and just kind of slowly moves over to the door, opens it, and waits.
And we leave.
Bye.
Hi.
Thank you for your time, Eliander.
It is never a pleasure, but it is always with purpose.
Fuck you too. Just kidding.
I was starting to think he liked Akkierr.
It's all.
You brought up the absolute worst things happening in his town all at once.
Yeah, because we're trying to help.
Like we said, we are that, that group of people who come into the diner 1 minute before close. The waiter knows us, knows we are always trouble, but we know the owner, so they have to let us in.
And you generally tip well,
Yeah.
because you totally could have asked for money for the mine, and you didn't, so...
We did that one for free.
There you go.
And now we're getting a hell of a lot of money for the Jolly Onion. So...
Or as Mina likes to call it, the rotten onion.
The rotten onion. We'll see what condition it's in when you get there, if you ever get there.
We walk out. Is the lady still there? Is what's her face? The
Nope.
Monsters Inc.
It is closed.
Roz.
It is quiet. You do not want me to do the Roz voice on camera, if at all possible. Leave it to your own imagination what that might sound like.
All right, cool. Well, that was fun.
Shall we go have a peek at the empty nest?
This is why I skipped these things, guys. I don't know why I came.
Because you had to defend yourself.
I'm more worried about bringing Tara to this thing, because we are,
Doesn't
like Atraius said, Eliander is going to be like, "What's going to keep you here?"
He
Terra will be
thinks
like,
I'm the
"Nothing.
flight risk.
Run." I don't know.
Yeah, we should probably head to the empty nest. What's this about? A child running off and
Mina has an admirer.
I think I just sent her a death. Oh gosh.
an admirer?
And based on how starkly this child looked,
Was it
in
a child?
comparison
Do we
to
have
Mina,
to keep calling it a
I
child?
fear she may have many admirers.
I mean, there are worse people to admire.
Just keep an eye out on people looking more broody than normal. Then you'll know that's you.
No. No. We're going, and we're putting a stop to whatever that is.
I mean,
Atraius
flattered,
looks, and there's a 7-year-old playing on the ground trying to make a little homebrew Eucidium necklace.
Apparently we have nicknames now, or I do. I don't know. This is a lot of visibility.
This is a lot. Yeah.
It's a lot of visibility.
So, if he's asking what will keep us in Saltmarsh, not that.
Not this.
It's like
Fame, glory, power.
No. You know
Crowds
what?
of mimicry.
That's probably not. He's probably not making Eucidium. He's not making Eucidium scales, and maybe his parents are worshippers. You don't know. There's plenty of people who worship him without being sworn an oath to him.
Are there?
I assume.
I do not.
All right. Well, we can go there. We will peek inside if this poor young woman, we're not going to call her a child because that makes me uncomfortable. If she's there, I will, I don't know, ask her.
All right.
I don't know.
Let's go, and let's also make sure that there are no postings for a job that sounds anything like the Sandalay bullshit.
Agreed. But also, let's not ask too many questions. We don't want to draw the attention of whoever is after us.
Just looking inside. A teenager then? I don't know. He said it was young. It's just going to look. I am not a discreet person, guys. Neither are. We're not just.
Probably too late to go shopping for like a something that I could use to be able to translate whatever is in that book that Akkierr has.
Clearly stolen.
I do not know what you are talking about.
Yeah, right.
We're going to have we're going to do some reading. I would like to read. So is it too late to go stop at anything? Everything's probably closed, yeah?
I mean, Winston's is generally open a little bit.
Winston usually would let us in.
Want to bother Winston again? For like the third time
Just
today?
be careful about what you say to him.
You do have access to comprehend languages, right? It's on the cleric spell sheet.
I will check that. I don't know if I do.
Maybe not today.
But I also want that ring for reasons. Oops. Because it's cool. Be a third, or is that a third or a second level, or
first, number 1.
That is first.
Yep.
No.
I don't see it either.
that a wizard-only spell?
That might be a wizard spell. Yeah, I don't have that. So I think it's a wizard spell.
Oh, well.
So I'm gonna... I mean, I don't want to spend money when we do have things that other and people want, but it might
My list
be,
is quite long.
it might be helpful. So
Well, do we still need provisions for us to sail out? Are we sailing out first thing in the morning, or will there be time to pay a quick visit and see if he has what you're looking for?
we could do that anytime. Yeah.
The day is long, and this is the final thing I would like to do before I go to bed.
All right. Fine.
Try to
Both
intervene.
Mina and Janine.
Yeah.
Empty nest. Sure. Let's go.
Walk and talk, folks. Walk and talk.
Where did I pin the thing? Doo-da, doo-da. All right. Walking across the entire town from the nice part over the bridge, the shark fin bridge, I think, and into the shady, seedy, lesser, the dark. This is, 2 blocks from where Dex got mangled. This is a few blocks away from the fish house that everyone so famously loved, hated. I don't know. I loved the roleplay that came from it. So we're going to go, we loved it. It made a great story. Yeah. And the empty nest.
Which time? Which time was when it was covered in blood? The first time or the second time?
See, you keep thinking it keeps getting covered in blood. Maybe it's always been painted red.
Always bloody.
Painted red with the blood of someone's enemies.
Someone's enemies. The empty nest stands on the edge of the docks, outside of the walls of the town proper, and somehow always in the shadows. We've been here during the day, and it is shady. It is nighttime, and it is extra shady. The tavern looks like it should have toppled over years ago. But rather than repair the building, new stilts and supports have just been added to keep it up, more or less. At this point, I believe my wife has left the stream. Yep. You can see that there is quite a ruckus crew inside.
Cool. Well, push open the door. She here.
Half of the eyes immediately stop and turn because you do not fit this aesthetic at all.
Covered in blood.
Shiny mithril doesn't fit the aesthetic.
Nope. Can't even pretend.
Akkierr would like to insight check to see if anyone is less surprised and more a threat.
You can definitely roll an insight while I go check on the family situation going on.
Akkierr did not insight well.
I got an
That's okay.
18.
Ooh. Eyes on you.
And
you
well,
know
I'm
what they
looking
think.
right back.
Mina staring them down because she's had an awful, very bad day.
How do I not fit the aesthetic? I mean, I'm grouchy and covered in blood. That should be the aesthetic. Nope.
See,
Not when
you're
wearing
50% of the
shiny
way there.
mithril. Not when you're shiny, covered in mithril.
No, when you look like $1 million, or in this place, at least 30 platinum, they don't take kindly to that.
Wait, well, I'm not staying. I'm just looking around, okay? And I rolled an 18, so I'm really looking.
Looking hard.
Looking hard, high and low.
Wow, Akkierr not bringing in the
Not
high
great.
rolls there.
Nope.
Akkierr sees greed in everyone's eyes. Those who look are hungry. Those who don't look, he can pretty much tell that they are looking with their ears because Mina's shiny. Mina, you don't see anyone in particular who poses a
Who's checking out my
threat. Everyone. She just
Every
rolled
single person.
into.
Locked in.
Yeah.
The party
Atraius.
don't stop.
Atraius was built for this aesthetic. He almost gets smiled at by a couple of the ladies and a few of the men, as he rolls in his
Really pretty.
black on pale. So
I like that.
yeah, Mina is only the second most out of place character in the room.
Here she comes.
Is that my sweater?
Yes, you left it in here. So there it is. That's right. I found this by accident. I wasn't even going to have her in here, but I have the yellow, so now it's happening.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're welcome. Here, I see if I can yellow this up a little bit.
Akkierr leans over to Mina. Is that the girl? I think that's the girl.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Here. She turns and puts her hand on the bartender's arm. Mina's here.
Mm.
Do you know Mina? Have you met? I met her. She is the reason I'm here. She is a goddess.
What?
And the bartender just is shaking his head and pouring her like seventh drink.
Ooh. Okay.
Yeah.
I walk
she
over.
Does have a trident on her back now.
I bet she does. Walk over and kind of like slide her drink over and be like, water, please. So much water. Just start bringing water.
See, that's why I love you. You are full of wisdom and great advice.
Okay.
Like you said, I shouldn't go alone. See all those boys over there?
No.
no.
They're coming with me when we go hunting the ghosties.
Can I give the boys over there like an insight check?
What are you looking for?
Akkier's gonna whisper to Atraius
You
now.
know what she's looking for.
Akkier's gonna whisper in Primordial. Even though he knows Mina hates this, he's still gonna do it. But he whispers in Primordial to Atraius, you might want to go talk to them. I'll watch Mina.
Yeah, I am gonna end up having a talk with them. 14 out of that.
They're a mix of dumb brutes and thugs.
Right.
He's the reason.
So they will probably take her into an alley and take all of her things.
Oh, not worse. Okay. Hi, sweetie.
Hi.
What's your name?
I forgot.
It's a little hard. Take the water. Drink the water.
Gina.
Okay.
Gina.
Oh,
It used to be Jen. I'm sorry. I didn't want to get in trouble and give my real name here, so I told everyone I was Gina.
Okay.
And where do you live, Gina?
Oh, I'm not supposed to tell that information to strangers.
It's good. It's good. Gina.
The other side of the bridge.
Okay. Yep.
This is my first time here.
Yeah. It should be your last time here. It really should. This is There are other places that you could be that I think you would be more useful.
Like on your ship? Do you need new crew members? I poked a thing with the trident.
I'm actually not in charge of the ship, so I will ask, but you're gonna have to wait here in town. Not this part of town.
I can't.
Back
at midnight. We're going ghost hunting.
No, see, I need your help. With a task that I will tell you about tomorrow.
Can I interject for a moment?
Yeah. Take a seat, please.
I see why you love him.
Oh God,
He's so pretty.
I know.
Gina, I'm
Hi.
gonna ask you the very.
She gets starry-eyed.
Yes. I'm going to
Mina
ask.
pushes her back like an inch.
I'm going to ask you the same question I asked Mina before we started on our adventures.
Yes, I'll marry you.
No, ew.
Atraius, I'm not sure this line of questioning works the way you think it does.
Have you ever fought a ghost?
No.
Then
I've fought demons, though.
please explain to me what demons you have fought.
One's in my heart.
Yeah, no, that's not going to do
Perhaps
it.
we
You know
should
why?
take this conversation outside.
Would you like to see our ship, Gina?
No, stop it! Stop encouraging her.
She needs
Stop
to.
I
This is the
I already
thing.
promised them. They're my crew. I paid
They
them.
are not your crew.
I'm sorry. You what?
I hired them. You said don't go alone, so I found big, strong people who were going to go adventuring with me.
Have any of them gone ghost hunting before?
They all said they had killed so many things.
So many
Yeah,
things.
you know who they could kill is they could kill you.
Yeah. Have you?
No, look at me.
Maybe, but now I have this.
That does nothing unless you know how to do it. Mina has been training since the time, what were you, like 10? 13, 10? She has been training very hard since she was a child. This is not a safe or fun life. She almost died today, and I had to drag her near lifeless corpse away from a monster. Now, before you get all in this drunken tizzy and think that this is all just some fun life and we're out here getting fame and fortune and she's having the best sex of her life, which she is, this is not the kind of life that any of us would wish for others. If I could, I would have probably the coolest general store you've ever seen. There would be baubles and knickknacks and books. There'd be so many books from everything. But instead, I have to go almost die every single day. I have to watch my friends almost die every single day. So maybe you can find a happy medium. I want you to
Finish the sentence.
I want you to write all of Mina's adventures.
Oh God.
Because we'll keep coming back to town. We'll keep finding you and telling you about all the amazing things that she does. Because it's wonderful that you're inspired by her.
She's so pretty. She's so inspiring.
I know. She's so good.
She makes me feel like I'm worth it.
Yeah, me too. Which is why other people need to feel that as well. So I would like to task...
Mina like grabs the girl's drink off the counter. She's like...
So I would like to task you with the job of making sure other people can feel as inspired by Mina as you and I feel every day. And you can't do that if you're dead in an alleyway, because these guys that you hired will 100% stab you in the gut and steal your coin purse.
Yes, honey. That's gonna happen.
Take off the beer goggles and look at them very seriously for a minute.
Don't drink more water, please. More water.
Those guys are going to kill you and steal everything you have if they don't do something worse first. So.
Okay.
Let's get you home.
And maybe, if I do a good job, I can go on the ship one day, and I can learn, and I can fight and write.
I would be so happy to train you one day, but you have to live long enough.
I can try.
Okay. We're heading back out. Would you like to at least walk with us to not be here?
Yes.
Just that way. Okay, let's go.
She puts herself one arm in Mina's arm and one arm really tightly in Atraius' arm.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And is just
so
flushed and beaming, and definitely needs both of you to help her walk.
Well, seeing that Atraius is indisposed, Akkierr is going to take a quick look around for anything that looks like a job
threaten those
posting.
guys.
Akkierr's not causing any more trouble. Akkierr's going to look for anything that looks like a job posting.
Yeah. There's a literal bulletin board where various jobs are written, and like small daggers and throwing knives are used to stake them to the board.
Good. Anything that just reeks of trafficking, look for that.
Akkierr is going to investigate for anything that looks like what Gina likely would have been drawn to. Any mentions of ghosts or undead, that kind of stuff.
There's 3.
They're pulling things off the board. Crash into the board.
Just, you would be hard pressed to find one of these that's a legitimate job. There probably are some, but they're all so poorly written and so done just with so little worth that any one of them could land you 5 gold or dead in the river.
Then Akkierr is going to walk over to the bar and
I'm taking this off.
try and have a conversation with the bartender.
Which one, blue or pink?
Oh, that's right. There's 2 of them. Pink.
Yes, this is the bar of the 2 tieflings.
If I remember correctly, I want to talk to Pink.
Well, sweetheart, what do you need tonight? You're not a very usual customer here.
I am not. I am curious, though. Who posts jobs in this establishment?
Oh, anyone can post jobs.
And the ones up there, the ones that are clearly not the job?
It's not my job. My job is to take the paper and pin it to the board.
It was my understanding that Eliander had had a conversation with you about that.
Not me. I don't take my orders from Eliander.
Insight check.
Go for it.
Specifically about the not knowing who's posting things. Yeah, I'm not rolling great. 11.
The hesitation of not taking orders from Eliander was the DM messing up his words a little bit. The not knowing, she looked around the room and I forgot what this tiefling was, but literally is staring at 4 people in this room who have given postings.
Can I tell which 4?
Probably not. She's not necessarily looking one to the other as a signal to you, just scanning the room. Anyone. And she has that look of recognizing of like that one and that one and that one.
I'm gonna tilt my head towards the group of thugs. And have they posted any recently?
It's not my job, so.
Very well. Thank you for your time. Akkier's going to turn around and take a quick scan of the room again to see if he recognizes anyone in here.
Perception check. Or investigation.
We're going perception. Oh, that was so close to a nat 20.
Oh, I hate when that happens.
It was on it, and then it just fell to the side.
No.
No. There's plenty of familiar faces. Most of these people you've seen around the docks. A couple of them you've seen throughout the town. No one in here stands out as anyone you have personally had a meaningful conversation with or spent time looking with or looking for.
Then Akkierr is going to stare daggers at the group of thugs as he walks out the door.
One of them, you can hear through the door as it closes. They start, flapping their wings and making fun of the Birdman.
Catch me in an alley, thug. We'll see who's flapping their wings then.
Oh no, they are not doing it until you are outside the building.
There.
I figured.
If it were not for your passive perception, you would never have heard that.
Turn around, slam the door open, and be like, always watching.
No, remember, Akkierr is not making any obvious mistakes or dangers. He is not getting us into trouble tonight.
Okay. That's fair.
Or at least he's trying not to.
Doing really well. Akkierr quickly catches up to the trio as they frolic through the town. And are you taking the northern route or through the docks?
You know what? We'll just take it to the dock so she can walk past the ship. So she can see there it is.
Just in the theme of the night, because this is how we're all going. She feeds the fishes once off the side of the dock, but
Feeds them what?
Feeds the fish.
whatever she had been eating and drinking.
It's in a packet. She just puts out some bread. She's like,
No. The girl.
She tosses them cookies. There we go.
Akkierr is going to ask Gina, do you know where you were supposed to go for this job?
Well, no, they said we were going to go to the Dreadwood. Because that's where the ghosts were.
Oh. The Dreadwood.
That's a place, right?
It is a place that even I would not like to go.
Because you're afraid of ghosts?
Because I know what is in the Dreadwoods.
I tried.
Yeah, Akkierr actually doesn't believe in ghosts.
for no ghosts.
If it's a ghost, why can't I kill it?
So, kind of. That was really stupid of me.
It was very well intentioned of you.
I'll do better.
Yeah, write the book, read lots of books, get training, and you'll be fine in,
Is that the sea ghost?
there it is.
Is Tara there?
No.
Maybe?
Our captain
She's
is an
very
elusive one.
hard to keep track of. She is an Eladrin, so, they just...
Fire. I know.
Where would you be staying today? Where can we...
That way.
That way.
Please tell me.
Winston's is only like a block from my house.
Yeah.
It's not my house. It's my parents' house.
Okay.
I'm gonna lean over her head and whisper to Mina, she's not gonna remember anything we said in the morning, is she?
Doubt it. That's why I would like to deliver her to her doorstep.
I'm afraid we're gonna be like in trouble with her parents. This feels like kidnapping.
No, we just saved her nincompoop.
Alright.
If they are awake, we will let them know to keep an eye on her.
All right. We love going to Winston's. We'll head in that direction with you, and then maybe we'll just keep following you to where you would need to be so that you're safe.
We're
So
definitely
that you can write the book. You guys? Yes.
The book. Yes. Yes.
Get trained by Mina in the future.
Mm-hmm. We're walking her directly to her door.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And you do so. It's not a mansion, but it's a standalone house. She has a small yard, nice picket fence, which is not really typical of this style, but a few of the homes near here do have such things. And a little yippy dog comes running out as you near the gate.
Atraius, let go, just in case Mom gets mad.
I am going
Prop
to
this girl up and
arm off of my.
walk up to the front door and give it like a little knock.
Yeah. The door opens. They had just let the dog out, and a much older version of this young blonde woman is standing there staring at you, and her jaw drops that Mina is on her doorstep.
Hi, is this yours?
Uh-huh.
She's gonna need some sleep, and lots of water. And
Do you want to come
maybe
inside?
I should get to bed. Really long day. But a conversation should probably be had about going on adventures with very minimal information and training. Maybe tomorrow, because I doubt she'll remember it today.
Absolutely. The girls are not going to believe this.
Akkierr calls over because he didn't go up to the door, but he calls over and remind them not to let her near the empty nest.
Yeah, that is where we found Jen.
Jen.
Yes. Huh.
Was she going by Gina again?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
She looks absolutely scandalized at the fact that she was by the empty nest. And yeah.
Akkierr gonna sell you out.
So, have a great night.
Are you sure you don't need a cup of coffee? Some wine? I have whiskey. I've heard you like whiskey.
I'm trying to stay sober for a little bit. Just a little bit.
So the smell is just her. Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You're amazing. We all love you.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
You want me to sign something? I don't know how to do this. I don't want to be rude, but I'm not coming inside.
Akkierr sees her like squirming, and he says, "I think it's time to get back to the ship, Mina."
Right. See, I gotta go because, but yeah. Okay. Have a good day. Okay.
And they close the door, and immediately, you see the mom and the late to the party dad just kind of like pull apart curtains and stare out as you guys walk off into the darkness.
Mm-hmm.
So
we're gonna
it is 10 o'clock p.m. and I think that's a solid night's work right there, y'all.
Yeah.
We're gonna wake up and enter a brand new day.
Whole new
first
day.
time in so long.
We've been living this day for ages.
Thank God for a new day.
You can take a long rest, get all your spell slots back, and I'm gonna have to decide if I'm doing something to you during the rest. So
great.
Yeah.
During the rest or tomorrow morning when I go look for rings that help me read.
Oh, and tell Mina that the beggar was most likely Honey.
Yeah. That's tomorrow's problem.
Tomorrow's problem. Long rests. Yes, longer rests than we get in real life. However, this day was the longest day. This was like probably a Monday, and Mercury was in retrograde.
It has been like 3 Mondays in a row.
Monday.
But we're exiting Leo season and going into Virgo season, so, you know.
There we go.
It's going to be better now.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us for that. I just hit myself in the face. For those shenanigans. Join us on the Discord if you aren't there, which I believe most of you are. I have the coffee link below. For $3, you get into the Discord. Amelia and I will probably be role-playing the night, so catch that. Yeah.
After this long day, there ain't gonna be much to say.
But they're probably gonna have a conversation about how terribly long that day was.
Probably.
So,
all right.
Good night, everybody.
Night, everybody.
Good night, and enjoy these tunes by Arcane Anthem.
Bye.